Today I came to visit my friend Grace. I want to film a short video about her and her life, about her fairy tale house and her animals.
Don't look at the cobwebs, or kitchen's too small for a table. I always want to say bad things, but I appreciate when people really like it. It is very quaint. Very quaint. This cottage was built in 1947, and it was just built for people coming from San Francisco for the weekend, and they used it for hunting cabin, so they hunt deer and wild boar, things like that. So it was very, very small, and then they added this was the deck, and so you see it's a step down here, so they added this was the porch.
It was a deck, and now it's your room, right?
The small office, yes.
It's like small office here.
This is a painting that my friend Carrie did. We both come from the Atlantic coast, so the Atlantic Ocean, and we used to have a boat like this together, and we painted on the sides, and so it reminds me of my time with her. This card, and I kind of feel like I want to be that girl.
Yeah. Peaceful, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I love my little doodads, my little bunnies, and my friend said, "You're the tallest friend I have, and you love all these little itty bitty things."
It's so nice.
Lots of memories.
This is you?
That's my friend Cindy and I, yes. She used to be a very good friend. She lives in Colorado.
Deo! Hi, good boy. Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
So I took him to the vet, and he had his tumor aspirated, and they said that they didn't see any cancerous cells. So that's good.
You're good.
Ooh, he says I can do tricks. Tricks for more treats. You're excited because they gave me treats. Yes.
I give you more? Okay. Wow.
Oh, you knew there was more. I have the shades on the window because it gets so.
Is it working?
Yes, it's working. A little wood stove. Yep.
Wow.
It heats up this room too hot, so I have a fan and I blow the air. is my mother. She's going to be 98.
98, yeah.
This is my grandfather, her father,
Mhm.
in World War One, and then this is my brother with my mom on her 70th birthday. We had a big surprise party for her.
I know you have a big family.
Yes, yes. Youngest of 7.
7. Oh, where are you?
Little, I was a big baby too, but this is my brother holding me, and my mom and my dad's not in this picture. Me, yes. And here's me picking my mom's neck. This is something I used to do when I was a little girl, because I didn't have any attention. So when she was cooking, I was trying to get her attention, so I picked on her. Things that remind me of where I come from, Cape Cod.
What is that picture?
This woman I used to work for in Oakmont.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Anne, and she just passed away last year. She was 93, I think. And this is something that she gave me. She was a beautiful pastel artist. My sister sent me that mobile, the shells from Cape Cod. So I kind of have this section. My friend who did the painting out in the living room also did this. This is a picture of the whale that she drew. Painted. Here's something my sister gave me a long time ago, and
It's old.
it's an old postcard, but my sister said it reminded her of me. So it's a tomboy, which I was, looking in the mirror at a dress and thinking, can I wear this? And this was something one of my clients gave me she brought it back from a trip. She reminded her of me.
You told me one woman getted for you a doll, very old doll.
Oh, yes.
Is there here?
The same age as her and my mother, 1928. It's a doll of Shirley Temple, who was a girl that was dancing at the time. Listen, I love this because he was just going to give it away for free, but it reminds me of a stormy ocean day. See the little bird up here, and I love this because my dream is to have a partner for life, and these two just love each other so much. This is also a favorite of mine. The woman with the tree. I think it's called The Girl in the Tree. I love that. You really want to see the Shirley Temple doll?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. It's been hanging around on the shelves for a long time. Well, Shirley Temple, the actress and the dancer, was born in 1928. So I'm guessing this is around that time when she was made, because she became very popular. And yeah, my mom remembers as a little girl watching her tap dance. And her little dress is connected to her hands. See the style.
Yeah, she's
So I thought it was a beautiful gift.
Yeah,
To give my
it's
mom.
true.
Not yet. So I have to. Papa!
Hi, sweetie. Hi, boy.
I don't have children, so my four-leggeds are my children. I say I am in his kahu, which in Hawaiian means protector. So I don't like to say he's mine. I like to say I'm his.
Oh, you good boy. You're so handsome. You're so handsome, boy. I love you, baby.
My compost.
Somebody lives here.
looks better. You like my door?
Of course. I love everything. You know, sunflower, it's Ukrainian flower. We have a lot of.
Oh, I love that.
And now, let's talk a little about Grace's life.
Love the ocean. I wanted to be close to the ocean. It's not so close here, but I know that it's not very far away, so it helps me.
It's not so far.
There's something called Land's End syndrome that people get. It's syndrome where they get anxious if they don't know, like if they can't think about water being around them, you know. So it's like, okay, the Pacific Ocean is here, I'm safe. I don't know what it is, but I had that. So I moved out here 30 years ago with my ex-husband for a little while in Alaska, and I met a friend. I roomed with a woman named Teresa, and Teresa was also doing what I was doing, called an exchange program, national exchange program. So I was at UMass Boston, she was at Sonoma State, and both of us decided we wanted to be in Anchorage, Alaska. So that's where I met her, and she told me, I said, you know, Larry and I, my ex-husband, are thinking about moving somewhere, and we want to look at different areas. And she said, oh, I think you should come to Sonoma County. I have the town for you. So she showed me Sebastopol, and we fell in love with it. So we packed up the car and my two little kiddies at the time and drove across the country.
30 years ago.
30 years ago, we ended up in an apartment in Sebastopol, and we were there for 3 years, I think, and the prices started going just in 3 years. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And I think there was a depression going on or something like that. So yeah, so I started talking to my ex-husband about, we should probably look into buying a house, like sooner than later, and this is all we could afford. So that's how we ended up here. I was a teacher's assistant. I never got credentials to be a teacher. I had a degree in sociology, so I could go into work maybe as a social worker. But so I love to teach, and I just decided to try to get a job in the special education realm. So I did that for over 20 years, and then I kind of burnt out with that. A lot of things were changing with the funding, and special ed just started going down the tubes, you know, and not a lot of help, and it became kind of dangerous with the behaviors started getting worse. And so I decided one day to do something different, and I quit the district and had this plan to work on my own, being self-employed and working with elderly people, because that's the two things I love to do, working with children and working with the elderly. So that's how I made my transition.
And how long you do this job?
10 years.
10 years.
10 years already. Oh my God, goes by so fast.
It's a little difficult too, but anyway, you can choose person who you like and they like you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like when I was working for the school district, I didn't get a choice about the children that came to me, the behaviors and whatnot, the teachers I had to deal with. Some of them were terrible. And now, if I don't like the job, I can move on, you know. But I've had wonderful clients. I've really been happy with my experience, and so.
Tell me please a few more words about your wonderful home. What do you love most about it? And what is the hardest things here?
Oh boy. What I love the most about it also is the hardest thing. I love my big trees. I love my big trees, and they provide nice shade. But in the wintertime, it becomes very scary for me. You know, I live alone here. I don't have a partner right now, and so in the wintertime, when it's storming and raining for days and days and sometimes weeks, the trees will shed their branches, and they'll come down, and one of them almost hit my neighbor's house this year, and she was all freaked out about it. So I have to get my chainsaw out and cut it into small pieces and then carry it up the stairs. It's just becoming a lot of work. You know, I bought this house a long time ago, and it's just feeling, I'm doing a little bit more all the time, but sometimes it feels really overwhelming. But the stuff, I love the trees, and I love my windows. I love, you know, kind of old fashioned, and it feels good. It's a simple cottage, and I feel like it fits me well because that's my lifestyle. I don't want extravagant and modern and cookie cutter. So
It's really your style.
yes, yeah.
You never tried to know how old this tree?
Oof.
Because I know in California that sequoias like 1,000 years. You don't
These
know?
are not considered old growth. The old growth trees are gigantic. I mean, the size of this room here. Those are that both of these trees are probably around the same age. This is a Douglas fir, which they also call widow makers because the branches can fall on you, and they're big branches. They're probably between 200 and 300 years old, I would say, because just in the 30 years, there's a small one on the side. Redwoods have their babies. They come out from the sprouts from the roots, and they form something called a fairy ring. So I've taken out a lot of them because I can't have any more trees here, but my neighbor is letting one grow, and just since I've lived here, I've seen it get a lot bigger. So that one must only be maybe 50 years old. So
you love your trees.
I do love my
I
trees.
love the trees.
My neighbors say, aren't you afraid of those trees? You should cut them down. I'm like, I can't. I mean, so many things live in them. You know, I have an owl that lives there in the winter, and I can hear woo 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 back and forth, different trees in the neighborhood, and I could never cut it down.
I know that ordinary people in California love visiting garage sales, estate sales, and thrift stores to make their lives a little easier. Do you use them too? If so, please tell me a little about that.
I love that question because I would say 90% of the things in my house, in my yard, are secondhand or third hand or fourth hand, not new. And so that tells a little about who I am as a person, because buying things new, you know, you're leaving a bigger footprint behind, effect on the environment. And I take people's things that they don't want anymore that might end up in the landfill. So literally, not this table, but I mean, at least I would say 90% of my things are from either thrift stores or yard sales. And I have moved things in and out many times, different couches, different tables, different this, different that. But it's okay because they're only $30, you know. And I like this one better. So it's kind of fun, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and also we worked together, and I remember you tried to put separate things in, sorry about my English, to put in trash,
Recycling,
right? Recycling. Yes. So you do this here too, right?
Yes, I'm very strict about my recycling.
I like it.
Yeah, and also I compost. So the food scraps go in my compost, and I tried it in my backyard, but it's so small and it doesn't get a lot of sun. So I end up, now the county has receptacles that you put the green bins where you put your scraps into, and it all helps. It all helps a little bit, you know. Even now, people don't even realize, but the film from wrappings or bubble wrap, lots of things like that can be recycled locally, like at your stores in front of Safeways, for instance. But so much gets put in the garbage, and it just makes my heart very sad.
Yeah,
because we know it's
I
just going
understand.
into the earth, and so, and not just with recycling, but reducing and reusing. Those are the two things that people don't. The 3 R's. You know, recycling, people are okay about it. but the reusing, like I sew my socks when they have holes in them, and reducing, like that's why I don't buy things new, because it's just all very impactful on our planet, and part of the reason I didn't have children, our planet needs our help. So
yeah, in California, a lot of people thinking like you. It's really good because our planet needs help.
Yeah, and that is one of the reasons that I felt happy coming out here, because I felt like I was around more like-minded people here in California, or not all of California, but definitely Sonoma County. The old hippies live here.
I know you also like music and dancing, and here it's like area where there's a lot of forest, and you try to find places because you invited me before a lot of times. So tell me a little bit about the places and
This county is filled with artists, musicians, and people that do art with their hands, and one of my ex-boyfriends was also a musician, and so I started getting in the groups, bands, learning a lot about band members from bands that he was in. And then I have friends, like I'm in this thing called The Tribe, and it's a couple hundred people, but a lot of those people are musicians, and so I get invited out to a lot of the music things happening here, and it's wonderful. It's a large variety, so I'm into certain things and not so much into others, but there's always lots of choice here, which is nice. Is that good enough?
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your neighbors.
My neighbors, my neighborhood. It's so funny. You're not going to know when I talk about this show that used to be on when I was very little, called Mr. Rogers, and he was a man that kind of introduced you to the friends in the neighborhood, and he used that word neighborhood, and he was very kind and talked to the postman, the mailman, and so my friend helped me purchase this house. It was a for sale by owner, this cottage, and after maybe 3 or 4 months, she came to visit me, and I walked her around the neighborhood. Usually it takes about 20 minutes to walk the loop around the neighborhood. Sometimes it takes me an hour, sometimes 2 hours, because I stop and I talk to people, and the old people want help. Can you come in and look at something, or come in and have a glass of wine? And I have, a dog, so I'm always talking to the people that have dogs. And so my friend Rebecca comes up, and she's walking around the neighborhood with me, and she said, "Oh my God, you moved into Mr. Rogers' neighborhood from the show," and I love to tell people that, because it just kind of feels like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. There's always people in neighborhoods that aren't friendly and are grouchy, but for the most part, this is an exceptional. We call this Maribel Heights, and and my friend Maureen, I think it's been 10 years. She's been here 10 years already.
I know she has a dog, and you care about your dog, and she care about your dog.
Exactly. My 12-year-old dog here has never been to the what do you call it? I'm trying not a shelter. He's never been to a border. I don't know the word because I never use one, but I always have my friends watch my animals, and so we do reciprocation. I watch their dogs or their cats, and they watch mine. And Maureen is a nurse, so she works 12-hour shifts. So she gets up very, very early, and she doesn't have time to, walk the dog. And by the time she comes home, she's so tired. So for 3 days a week, I have Cooper, her dog, and he's just part of the family. He comes here and hangs out in the couch.
They're friendly with Teo.
Yes, yeah, I would say Cooper and Teo are best friends.
I know we were together on the party, and they sat together in car. You remember? We are dancing and they sitting in car together.
Yeah, we figured that the dogs we bring them places because we figured they would like to be out, looking out the windows of the car, and even if they have to sit in the car and wait, versus than just laying on their bed at home. Because they're very intelligent beings and, they need stimulation just like we do. So, yeah, my neighborhood is wonderful. Lots of friends. For instance, I have 2 men here that I wouldn't have been able to survive here if I didn't have their help. Randy and Drew. So when I was so scared something breaks and I don't know how to fix something, I just call them and they come down. And a plumber, for instance, would charge me maybe $300 and they say, just give me $50. It's just been such a godsend for me to have these people in my life. And I don't know what I did to deserve them, but I'm very grateful. And I truly would not have been able to stay here and pay this mortgage if I didn't have people like that in my life. Including Maureen, who watches my dog. Otherwise, I'd be paying at the Borders, So, it's been...
You happy here. This is your place, really. So, Grace, thank you very much. I'm really happy to be in your house again and speaking with you. And you're very open. I appreciate it. And I just want to ask you, maybe you wanna I ask something what I didn't. Okay. And maybe my last question. What are drinking? Dreaming about?
Yeah, for the future.
Yeah, for your future.
Yeah,
for the future.
It just kind of came up a little bit about my animals and how special they are to me. But something else that's different about me that is very, it follows suit with the way that I live. My choices that I make for the environment and things like that is that my animals are also not from breeders. I get these animals from the pounds because they need homes. And my goal in life was always to adopt a child and not bring more people into the world. And I did get to do foster care for 3 years. I helped 3 children out, and it was just lovely.
3 children together?
No, different times.
Different times.
Yeah. I had one little girl for over a year, Paul and I. And we really helped her while her mother was, taking classes and going through the court hearings. And we gave that little girl a very stable environment to grow and learn in, and we got her up to speed for kindergarten and all these kinds of things. But yeah, so all my animals come from the pound. When I was younger, I would get kittens and puppies, but now I get older animals because they're the ones that are harder to place. So just wanted to mention that as well. But for my future, I'm going to be 60 this year, and it's kind of frightening for me to say
I don't
that.
believe it.
Yeah. But I look forward to, I just started collecting some money. Well, I haven't gotten the first check yet, but I will be getting money from the school districts, the school district that I worked at. And then at some point I will be this next 60s, my 60s decade, I will be collecting Social Security and stop working at some point. So I want to look forward to doing more things that bring me joy besides working, because I've worked very hard from when I was a little girl. And so, yeah, I want to start traveling this year for my birthday. I'm going to do the first thing on my bucket list, which is go to Kauai and camp and hike. So looking positively at growing older. So it's exciting. I want to be excited about it.
You're waiting for a little rest and enjoy your life.
Yes.
Less
looking
job,
forward.
more time for yourself.
Exactly. And not worrying so much. I'm going to have this little cottage paid off in 6 years. It'll be 30 years that I've been here in 6 years. So finally the mortgage will be paid off. And so I won't have that big chunk of money going out. So I've been worrying all my life about how am I going to survive, and I picked one of the most expensive counties in the world to live in. and it's like I've made it, and it just feels really good. It's kind of like the tail end of my working, and I'm appreciating having more time.
I wanted to ask you about this. How did you manage to survive in Sonoma? Because it's so expensive, expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do what most people do. I don't get my nails done. I don't pay $100 for haircuts. I don't go out to dinner. I make a lot of my own food. Of course, I go out to dinner, but I don't go to super fancy restaurants unless it's a very important thing. So I just, I cut back on as many things as I can. And to me, it doesn't matter. It feels good that way. But I don't live like a normal person does. I'm very frugal about how I spend my money, and I work hard.
So future, relax, time for yourself,
and more time for friends, and having people over like you, and we can have brunch out on the deck, and I don't have to, oh my God, I have to go home and clean, and it just could be easy. And I'm healthy because of the way I eat and I exercise, so I'm healthy, and I feel like it's going to be a nice transition. A lot of people wait until they're so worn out and they're not taking care of themselves, they're so stressed, and so they get sick around retirement time. And I think that I'm going to be pretty healthy for this next stretch. So
I wish you this. I wish you from my heart, because I know you're a good person, and I hope your wishes will be real.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you so
much
for having me.
Thank you so much
for your first interview. I'm so glad I met you.
Me too. 17
Poor
years.
Jess, he can't hear me anymore.
No.
He gets very startled when I walk in the room, or the dog. Like, I have to remember. This is my big oak tree. Bay tree. This is called the California Bay Laurel. One from Italy, a tree from Italy, a bay tree, and this is a California Bay Laurel. So, but yes, you can make spaghetti, pasta, things like that with that. Yeah. This is one of the things that I like to do for pleasure, for joy, is work on puzzles. So this is my first puzzle of the year. California gets hot early, so I'm doing the Tree of Life. One of my neighbors dropped this off. I have no idea who gave it to me, but I love it. So I am now working on my first puzzle of the year.
Good.
That angel is my little guardian angel there. I put her there. Orchid coming. Oh my goodness. Bye-bye.
Thank you, dear. Bye, dog. Bye, house. And of course, I couldn't be this close to the ocean and not go.